And this video we're going to take a look and it's going to give you a basic orientation into the interface for Photoshop. So just like we did with the InDesign video, I'm going to open Photoshop. I'll also open up either an introductory screen, or if you've had some documents before, then you will see them pop up in a thumbnail grid here with a create new and open. So you'll see across the board the Adobe programs have a similar interface as you go from program to program. Some of them have similar tools that work the same. Some of them have tools, the same tools, but have different shortcuts. For instance, Photoshop has the same tools as InDesign to some capacity, but the shortcuts are different because Photoshop was created long before InDesign. So I don't know why, but some of those shortcuts just are different. For instance, the undo shortcut is similar to what it is in InDesign, but it's a little different. So you'll see those little nuances and differences, and I'll tell you when the time comes when you need to be aware of that. But again, in the interface, you'll see a very top menu option here on your computer screen that will give you all of your options that you will find everywhere else. And in your Apple, you can adjust, or in the Photoshop CC, you can adjust those preferences as well. Same with InDesign and Illustrator or any other of the Adobe programs. When you open the general screen there, I can change and make even how I'm looking at the interface customizable. So the same with the InDesign and Photoshop and Illustrator programs. So if I were to click on interface, if I don't like this dark gray, I can switch to a lighter gray or a total, really dark. So you can change how you're viewing things. You can change how the tools are, your workspace. In terms of your guides and grids, you can change the color of the grids and the smart guides and what color they are. Sometimes you're working in similar colors as your grid line colors, so you can change the colors so they can show up better and you can see them better. So you can change all this stuff in your preferences under Photoshop CC up here, or InDesign, or whatever program you're working in. So it's good to know that. When you look at the screen here, again, you're going to have a top panel, and anytime these things are up, it's giving you little shortcuts to whatever you're doing. I always make sure the auto select and show transform controls are clicked in Photoshop. That makes life a lot easier and less frustrating. But if we start a new document here, same thing here. You have some options here that are for. So Photoshop is a pixel-based program or raster-based program. Everything you use in here is made of pixels. So that's why it's a great photo editing software, which is originally what it was designed for. So when we do your poster primary image that you create, or your photo illustration that you create and conceptualize for a poster project, you will create it in Photoshop and then place it in a layout in InDesign. So working with photos artistically or in an editing format, you can do that. Anything for web is good to do in Photoshop. Mobile, any film and video is good with Photoshop. And even though it has a type tool, you never want to print from Photoshop. It's not a good printing layout program. Alright, so you'll see the size in inches here, same. When you start a document, you'll have your presets for photo, print, whatever you're doing. There will be some times where you don't have to create a document. In other words, if I'm editing photos, I've been doing that here, I can just open the photo or drag the photo to my icon in my doc and it will open in. So I don't place it in a document. I just open the image by itself. So that allows me to edit that image alone instead of the canvas around it. So if you look at the interface here, now that we have something open, you can see that my panel here, as I switch from tool to tool, that panel changes. So same thing, I also have this menu bar up here that allows me to open my windows on the right side of my screen. And again, you can put them in view as little icons, or same thing, I have paragraph options, so I can open that window. I have special effects, I can open that window, layers. So you'll have some of those same windows that you see in all of the programs. Same with Illustrator as well, as you'll see in a moment. At the bottom, you will see mostly things dealing with your document. You don't really have to worry about a pre-flight window in Photoshop. And you'll have your different options depending. You'll still have your tab bar up here for different documents you have open in Photoshop. You'll still have your ruler here. And something to know about the ruler as well, this goes across all of the programs. You can, when you're in your selection tool, or in this case, in Photoshop they call it the move tool, you can click and drag from those rulers and create guides and ruled lines. So if you're trying to align something in an image, or trying to draw something that's the same size, you can pull those guides down and move them around to help you from your ruler. And that goes for InDesign and Illustrator as well. In addition to that, you can, like I said, if you see an arrow, that means there's more that you can do with that. You can move your toolbar and options around, like I showed you in InDesign. You can open or hold down the key when you press and get the different tools that come in that tool option. So the eyedropper tool, I've got some different options here in Photoshop. I've got a brush tool with different types of options there. So, and you've got a type tool here too. So you've got some things here that, some options there. And so if you see the little arrow on your toolbar over there on the tools, then just know that there's more tools that you can choose from. And sometimes you won't see the tool that you need because it's got another tool selected in that little box. So sometimes you have to change it back. But this interface operates much like all of the other Adobe programs. So you will see that consistency across the board. All right, so with Photoshop, we will use it for editing photos primarily and creating your photo illustration. And remember, it's a raster-based program. It is created with pixels. All right, so if I increase this, you can see that. See how everything is made of little pixels, and that's what raster images consist of. All right, so thanks for listening, and I hope this helps with your orientation into Photoshop.